I am your host, Carrie Scollin, giving us different perspectives on where we are and where we want to go on our journey. Thanks for being here, and I look forward to spending some time with you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the FoundHer Series. I am your host, Carrie Scollin, and our mission here is to help you create the life that you desire. Today, I'm going to do a solo show, actually. I'm going to talk to you about manifestation again, because some of these topics really deserve some repetition. A lot of this stuff is all about repeating and practicing. So I'm going to do kind of a recap of a workshop that I did last night. We had an absolutely beautiful night at Rath Trevor Beach in Parksville. There was 20 women who gathered, and it was called Manifest, Sea, and Charcuterie. And this is a perfect example of having information that I've used myself, that I've experienced, that I'm studying, I'm still studying. There's always so much more to learn. And it was something that I was nervous about sharing, but it is something that I believe is so important and can help so many people. So I went about doing that workshop last night without it being perfect, without knowing if anybody was even going to sign up. But it was something that I did, that I followed my nudges, I followed my intuition, and I took inspired action. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. We are going to talk about how to get into the feeling of what we are desiring. The three main things really are, in my opinion, like I said, there's so many people teaching about manifestation out there. And I think all we can do is share what we use. And I had Tara Brunette on a couple of weeks ago, and I love all of her stuff about manifestation. I've learned a lot from her and a lot of my own research and learning myself. So what I've kind of boiled it down to is it's a quote from Neville Goddard, and his is feeling is the secret. So you've got feeling is the secret, imagination is the power, and love, gratitude, joy is the fuel. Those are the three things that I want to touch on today, because I feel like we need to kind of simplify it a little bit, because it can get very, very overwhelming. And, if you have an open mind, you're willing to see a different perspective, sometimes there's a lot out there that we're missing. And I think this is one of those things. The manifestation has been around forever. I talked to my mom about it when I was sharing what I was doing. And she said, she remembers reading a book back in the early 60s or somewhere in there, middle 60s. And it was called The Power of Positive Thinking. So this is nothing new for us. It's just evolved and changed, and people have different, like I said, perspectives and different teachings and different ways of doing it. I think the power of positive thinking possibly turned a lot of people off of it, because it was like we weren't allowed to feel anything else but positive. We had to get in the highest vibe and stay there, or anything that you were going to manifest or trying to manifest wasn't going to come true or going to happen, because of certain restrictions that a lot of the teachings have out there. Is you need to be absolutely specific. Well, you can be a little bit broader. You have to stay in that high vibe. No, you don't have to stay in that high vibe. You have to focus and be obsessed on what it is that you are trying to manifest. No, you don't. So there's just a lot of myths that I've come across that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to work for you. So really what manifestation is, it's the art of using our imagination, our creativity. It's fun. It really should be something that we look forward to doing, enjoy doing. And it is about creating the life that we desire. So, one of the things that I really love is that I learned that anything that we can desire in our mind is meant for us. Because if we couldn't imagine it or desire it, it's it won't happen because it's not meant for us. But as soon as we can desire it or dream about it, imagine it, it's there, it's ready for us. It's just waiting to come to us, and we just need to do a few things to prepare for that. Sometimes it takes longer than we think because maybe we aren't ready for it. Sometimes we maybe miss where we were supposed to actually achieve it, but it's going to come back because nothing will miss us if it's meant for us. So that was another really important piece. It was, what if I don't do this? What if I don't follow that nudge? It's okay. It will come back. There will be another nudge. There will be another intuition hit for you to recognize. And I think that's what a lot of this is tapping into our intuition, trusting that that it is there. You can call it whatever you want. People call it different things. You can call it the universe, you call it the creator, call it your higher self. Everybody has a different way of taking it in, I guess. Uh, I just call it the universe. The universe is always working for me. I have a mantra that says everything always works out for me. And that's just something that I play over and over. Anytime I'm in a situation, that's what I say to myself. Everything always works out for me. And really, I've come to such a belief in that I don't have a lot of worry anymore when it comes to certain things. Of course, as a parent, I always have certain worries. I'm not without worry, but it's coming from a place of wholeness, of I'm not lacking. And it seems to be able to bring those manifestations even quicker to me. It was funny when I was doing the workshop last night. It was it was just it was beautiful. The setting was amazing. And what we talked about at the beginning was you don't have to understand all of this. You just have to be willing to try, right? It's not going to hurt us. We start thinking positively and about what we desire and start dreaming again. Nothing bad can come from that. What stops people really from doing it, from what I've gathered from talking to people, is fear. And it's the fear of being disappointed that it's not going to happen. Well, if you have that fear in your body, that is resisting the manifestations from happening. Can we manifest with having some fear in our body? Yes. But what this practice is, it's bringing our awareness to what our thoughts are, right? So if we feel that we're in fear, our body is telling us we're feeling something, right? So this isn't about just sugarcoating all of the feelings that you're feeling. It's really important for us to acknowledge what our body's trying to tell us. So instead of just trying to, okay, I'm not going to feel that. I can't feel that way because this isn't going to come into me if I'm feeling that way. Is just take some time, sit with it. Okay, what's my body trying to tell me? These can be from past events that caused our body trauma that we may not have even been consciously aware of, but our bodies are so amazing at remembering. So there may be something that you're desiring, and your body just goes small and it starts to shrink because it doesn't feel safe. And that's what it's there for. Our bodies, all the job of our minds and our bodies is to keep us safe. So if there's something coming towards us, or we are trying to manifest something, and it may be bigger than we can imagine, or maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's something, and automatically your ego and your brain go, oh no, 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 I can't have that. That is way too big for me to think about. I am not worthy of that relationship that I'm trying to bring in. I don't deserve that. I have so much already. Why am I asking for more? And our body actually stops these things from coming to us because it's trying to protect us from that disappointment, or the fear, or we feel like we don't deserve. Worthiness is a huge part of manifestation. What this is really just recognizing the feelings that are coming up. It's an important piece that I don't want to skip over because we are human. This is natural. for us to feel uncomfortable when we're starting something new or we don't know the certainty of it. There's a lot about giving up control when it comes to manifesting. And a lot of us want to um, come up with a plan and exactly what we've got to do and how it's going to come. And then this is going to happen. And then this is going to come in. Well, there's none of that when it comes to manifesting. Our job is to get clear on what it is. Our job is to get into the feeling of already having it. And then our job is to take inspired action and aligned action when we get the nudges or we get those feelings that there's something that's telling me to do something. So that's our job when it comes to manifesting. The other thing that we talked about was I'm really liking kind of the science side of things as well, because they're proving that these things are they're happening. Like they can prove that when you get the heart brain coherence. So the thoughts that we have are actually the language of our brain, and the feelings that we have are the language of our body. So when we are starting to think about manifesting, what it usually is you desire something because of what or how it's going to make you feel. And so that's usually the first thing, right? How it's going to make us feel. So we want to go with what do we want? You also want to dive a little deeper into why do we want it? What's the why behind that desire? It helps make that connection a little bit stronger when we can put the why to it. Some people want more money so that they can make a bigger impact in the world. That's a why. That's something that helps get into the feeling of how is it going to make me feel. So if you're thinking of something that you're desiring, think about what it is. Think about why you want it, and then think about how it's going to make you feel when you achieve it or it comes to you. The key is to get your body into that feeling before it comes. So you're actually feeling how it feels to be joyful or feel how it feels to be loved by that person that you're calling in. Or it can be, you can manifest not even just material things, you can manifest wholeness, you can manifest peacefulness, but you have to feel it in your body. You have to feel it before you get it, because what that does is it helps our nervous system to actually not be go into that fear mode when you're starting to feel those feelings. You can train your body to trust that, okay, that feeling of love, I'm going to feel it, so that when that comes to me, it's not going to be something that I'm scared of, or I'm going to self sabotage because I'm not worthy of it. I don't deserve it. Your body's going to go, oh, okay, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. We need to get her evidence to prove to her that she's worthy, that she's loved. So then everything starts to work. And we have no idea of how any of these things happen. That's the part about giving up the control of trying to make it about us deciding how this is going to happen. We don't know how it's going to happen. It's probably going to be better than you can even imagine, because what also holds us back is that we really haven't been taught how to dream bigger, how to let our imagination just like go wild. When you are starting this process, it's about having fun. It is about dreaming bigger. It's about having no limits. It's about learning that the possibilities are endless, that anything we desire is achievable because we have put it in our imagination. We could see it, we can achieve it. You've probably heard that saying is, if you can dream it, you believe it, you can achieve it. That has been around for years. I would say that for me, one of the most important things, and this is how we started off our workshop yesterday, was gratitude. Gratitude is one of my most important, I would say, practices. I practice gratitude during the day. I practice it when I wake up in the morning. I practice it before I go to bed. And it's a simple practice of putting your hand on your heart. You can feel your heart. You can feel your body. And we just take some deep breaths. So in through your nose, out through your mouth. I was getting all excited there and wrapped up. Sometimes I need to just ground myself again, just with a deep breath. And you just feel into the gratitude of so much to be grateful for. And when you're coming from that place to start your manifestations, it's like your heart and your brain are in coherence. That is a magical place to come from. When you can get those two things working together, everything comes a lot faster because we're not in resistance. We're not in an overwhelmed state of energy. We're here, we're in the moment, and let's just be grateful for what we have. And you can go on almost like a grateful um, rampage where you're just thinking thoughts of everything that you're grateful for. It can be your family, your friends, it can be your children, it can be your animal, it can be the weather, it can be the ocean, it can be absolutely anything. I'm grateful for my Tim Hortons tea. Anything to put you in that mode of being grateful helps you along this process because it just frees you up a little bit. The other thing that I would say about getting into the grateful mode is really to pull your shoulders back. I may have mentioned this before on some of my other shows, but when we pull our shoulders back, it actually opens up our heart chakra. So when we open up the heart chakra, what does that do? It just makes us more available to receive. It opens us up to seeing more things around us. Because when we start to practice this, what's going to happen is wherever your attention goes is where your energy flows, right? So if you're paying attention to something, that's where your energy is flowing to. That's what the universe does is shows us examples, shows us proof. It gives us evidence so that we keep going. But when you're not open to seeing that, it's all around us all the time. But sometimes we don't see it. It's like that's when we talked about the particular activating system again. If we're focused on something, we're going to see it. So why not let us be the creators of what we're going to see in our lives? And we can do that just by planting things into our subconscious mind. Then it doesn't know if it's real or not real. It just begins to bring things into our existence that we're going to be able to see. So that's using the subconscious mind. A great time to do this practice is before you go to sleep at night because it's a time when our subconscious and our conscious mind are more at an even level, and our conscious mind isn't blocking those thoughts to go into our subconscious, because our conscious mind is where it blocks those things because it's trying to keep us safe, right? Or we have limiting beliefs around and stories around what we deserve and what we are worthy of and what we can actually create. So our conscious mind actually stops those things from going in. So when you can get yourself, that's why meditation is so important, because you're bringing everything down to your nervous system is calm, and you get into, I don't know, I can't remember what it's called, delta or alpha or theta, some one of those rays. That just allows it to go into our subconscious mind more. So a great example would be before you go to sleep at night, when you're just laying there and you're not quite asleep, but you're not quite awake. You're in that really relaxed mode. That's a great time to think about what it is that you're desiring. Think about that feeling that you want, and then make your body remember being in that feeling in previous circumstances. So one of the exercises we did last night was jotting down like some of the highest level vibrations that we can have is love and joy and excitement. I remember that excitement and anxiety are actually the same emotion in our body. So when I come on to do these things, or when I hosted the workshop last night, I could feel my anxiety coming up a little bit, right? And now the more practice you do, the more aware you become. It's like, okay, what is that? Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm a little bit scared. I've got some fear coming up. I've got some anxiety coming up. And when I was able to go, okay, it's the same feeling as excitement. So as soon as I can tell my brain that I'm excited, it takes that fear and anxiety away. I'm just excited. My body's excited. I can feel my body getting into that mode of, okay, I'm going to share something that I hope helps people. I'm going to share something that maybe they're going to learn something tonight. And maybe it's going to make them think differently about something. Maybe it's going to make them believe that they're worthy and that they are the creators and to not sit back and wait. Maybe it's going to make them tap into how they're feeling and what their body's telling them. Those little nudges, those little inspirational hits that we get. So I started to get my body recognizing it as excitement rather than anxiety. That really helps. So what I had them do last night was I wrote like joy, love, excitement, confidence, being proud. Put those in your notebook. And then under each one of those, try to remember an example that you remember having that feeling, where it was so deep ingrained in you that you can go back to a time where you felt super confident. You can go back to a time where there was so much love in your heart, like it was just like ready to explode. It was like when we're feeling so loved like that, it is a feeling of wholeness. It is a feeling like we lack nothing, that we have everything that we could possibly imagine in that moment, right? These are moments that come and go. But when you can tap back into your body's resources, it helps you get into that feeling before you start to write about what you're desiring. So if you're coming up to something and you're a bit nervous about it, get your body back into that feeling of confidence. What was that one thing that where you were? Maybe it was a presentation you were doing. Mine was when I was a young curler. I remembered that feeling of confidence. Like, okay, my body remembers that feeling. That's what I want to feel. So I want to feel that confidence in my body when I'm going in to manifest whatever it is that you're thinking about. Or when you have a desire and you think that desire is going to make you feel loved, that's why you're desiring it. You want that feeling. It's important to get into that feeling beforehand, because then you're training and teaching your body that you don't have to necessarily have that thing that you're desiring to feel this way. You can feel this way without that happening. And what that does is it releases the resistance. It releases that emotional attachment we have to that certain thing. Because if we have that desire and it's just like you're in that mode of, I have to have this, I need to have this, that is just the energy that you're giving off is you don't have it now. You're not worthy of it. You're lacking it. And what that does is put you into resistance. And you may eventually get it, but it's going to take a lot longer. So you don't have to be in full belief that um, and have no resistance at all. No, you can have some doubt, but the beautiful part is you're going to recognize that doubt. Okay, why am I feeling that way? Okay, tap into that. Okay, that's what it is. I can let that go. So it's not about pushing all your emotions down that come up when you're in resistance. It's just about noticing them. It's usually a story that's going on in our heads that probably isn't true. And then you can go, okay, that's what it is. It's because I'm desiring that. And I had a little bit of feeling of unworthiness. Okay, I know I'm worthy. I'm going to let that go. And then you're going to go back into that feeling of joy or love. But it's important for us to remind our bodies that we've had that feeling before. We're going to connect to that feeling. Whatever we are desiring, it's as if it has already come to us. And then we can let go of the resistance. We can let go. It's a word called surrender, which is very hard for a lot of people who want to control the outcome. But surrender is just going, it's Somebody said it was like placing an Amazon order. And I was like, okay, you go in, you look, oh my gosh, if I had that sweater, what would I feel like? Um, and it's that feeling that we see when we buy something. So you press the Amazon order, you get your size, you get the color that you like, you already picture yourself wearing it to whatever it is that you're looking for. And then you press, pay or shipping options or whatever. What do you do after that? You don't worry about it. You know what's coming to you. That's what this is. That's what manifesting is. It's you get clear on what you want. You put a why, see why you want that desire, and then you think about and feel into your body how you want to feel. And all of this is done before it happens. So that is letting go of the resistance of it. And the feeling is your most important piece, feeling it before you receive it. Then your imagination, like I said, is the next piece. That is the power that we all have when we start to imagine. We used to do this as kids all the time. We'd imagine different scenarios. And somewhere along the line, it starts to dwindle. We don't daydream as much as we used to. We don't have these big, awesome ideas. But the incredible part is if you look around your room, every single thing that you see started in somebody's imagination. Everything started in somebody's imagination. There was something I read about Starbucks where they imagined a place and they imagined the smells, they imagined the experience, they imagined the connecting of what would happen in that space. They imagined that before they put it all together. It was just their imagination. So I encourage you to start dreaming again, start writing things down, start opening up your world to things that are there for you. And it's a matter of creating those yourself. It's a matter of getting into the feeling of it. It's a matter of taking those aligned actions. And when you get a nudge, do it. This takes action. This isn't something like in The Secret where you just dream about it, you wish about it, you think it's going to happen, and then you don't take any action towards it. So if there's something that I really want, I can start taking actions today to get me closer to it. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I can take my role and start to follow those nudges and the intuition that comes when we are in that mode. There's lots of things that you can do. You can journal, you can script. Scripting is something that I think Tara talked about as well, but it's about writing it as if it's already happened. Like I am so happy and grateful when I see my car in the driveway, and it feels so good when I'm in it and driving and the windows are down and I can smell the ocean. It's getting into that feeling, writing it out as you desire it, and you don't have to focus on it every minute of every day. I wrote my selling our house, I wrote that, I scripted that out, and then I didn't think about it because I just knew it was going to happen. I wasn't worried. It was like, I know it's going to happen, so I'm going to let that go. Anyways, I think I gave you guys a lot to take in. Thank you for being here. And as you always know, please know that you are more than enough as is. And we will see you next week. Bye bye.